How's it going, guys? I just want to give you all an update on my MS condition. Went in to have an MRI done, got the results, and I'm happy to say that I have no new lesions, no new activity, which is the same as last year. My MRI had the same exact result, so I'm going 2 years strong, you know, without any lesions, without any activity, no relapses. I'm excited about that. Um, I was diagnosed in October of 2008. I've been on Copaxone drug therapy since November. I was very fortunate to pick a drug therapy the first time and have it work for me. I know some people go through different therapies before they find that right one. Um, One thing I can say about Copaxone is that it's a daily injectable. When I first started out on the drug, I took my shots every single day. But now, I'll say after 6 months, I started taking them, start skipping. I start skipping days. And now I probably take them about 4 or 5 times a week. Even with that, um, I still don't have any lesions or new activity. And how do I explain that? I think it's because of the lifestyle changes I've made. The way I eat, the exercise that I incorporated into my life, and I also maintain low stress levels, and I make sure that my way of thinking is always positive. Before, I didn't do any of those things. I ate terribly. Um, I've always had a pretty optimistic attitude about life in general, but you know, um, I did exercise, but the way I ate was ridiculous. So I've changed that about myself, and I've always been like this even before MS. I believe that in combination with your drugs, you also have to eat well. You have to do both of them because your body responds to what you put in it. If you put fruits and vegetables, if you put the right things into it, it's going to respond accordingly. If you put the bad things into your body, your body, you will see an effect of that. Um, and I can talk all day about that because there's some things that I used to do, um, such as smoking. I was an occasional smoker, and we all know the effects of smoking on the nervous system. And it's very important that you quit that if you have MS. And the studies show it. You can Google it, or you can go to the library and it would, if you want to find further information about it. But with those lifestyle changes and with me taking the drug therapy, I think that's going to work out fine for me. The key to MS is finding what works for you. What works for Bob may not work for Jill. you know, um, I've talked to many people with MS, and they do different things that I don't do, and they tell me, "Hey, ever since I've been doing this, whether it be massage therapy or um, yoga, meditation, whatever it may be, it's working for them." And I've tried many things that did not work out for me. But what works for me is what you stick. Whatever works for you is what you stick to. And you can certainly share with other people, but doesn't mean it's going to work for that person. So, another thing that I want to say, and I would like to get some opinions about this, if you don't mind commenting at the bottom. Heat typically bothers individuals with this disease. The heat, from what I've heard from my neurologist and from what I heard from other people, the heat either triggers a relapse or it worsens symptoms. With me, it doesn't. I stay in the south and it's about 90 plus degrees right now every single day. And I can freely go outside with my family without any problem. It doesn't worsen my symptoms or anything. So that's kind of strange to me. I can't explain it. I don't know why. Every time I see my neurologist, he tells me, "Hey, make sure that you have your AC working properly because it's the summertime and you know how you know the heat can worsen your symptoms or trigger a relapse. And I hear him talking, but okay, I'm like, okay, well, that's not the case with me. So MS is very, it's a very strange disease because it doesn't affect each of us the same way, you know. Um, so I just thought I'll put that out there. I wonder if anyone else is like that, because I haven't talked to anyone that doesn't have problems with the heat. So if you don't have problems with heat, I would like to hear what you have to say about that. That's very strange to me. But um, that's about all I have to say. I just want to give you guys an update. Whatever you're doing, um, I hope everyone's doing well. Whatever you're doing, I hope it's working for you. Um, in conclusion, I would like to say this. When I first got this disease, I thought it was the end of the world. I thought that, I started thinking about, okay, this is how I'm going to leave this earth, is with MS. But you got to understand, without knowing anything about it, being ignorant to it, I thought that MS was a death disease. And when I got DX'd, I went crazy. I joined every social networking group that had to do with MS. And the downfall of that is I do not recommend a newly diagnosed person to join any type of group, because if someone else made a video about this, I think it's Mr. Mac. I subscribe to his videos. Yahoo groups or Facebook groups or whatever social networking groups, they tend to be negative, and that's been my experience. When I joined these groups, I joined because I guess I wanted to meet other people that had MS, so that I can share stories, share my story with them, they share with me, and I can learn how to manage with this disease and still live a normal life. But instead, I got a lot of negativity. A lot of people coming onto the group, ranting, complaining, sharing how depressed they were, how sorry they felt for themselves, and so forth. And I understand, that people go through these emotions, that you go through times in which you feel like, man, why me? I have those moments. But the problem is when you continuously hear that almost on a daily basis, it drags you down. Okay, it drags you down. So instead of me getting something out of it, I really ended up feeling worse when I would log on and talk to other people in these groups. I ended up feeling worse about myself and about life in general. It's very depressing. So I had to leave the groups. And I'm not saying all groups are like that, but that's just been my experience. I've heard other people have the same experience too. So I don't really recommend anyone right off the bat just jump into these groups, because it turned out to be, it's very important to be positive anyway, but especially with this disease, it's very important to think positive and to think optimistic, and because if you do that, you'll be able to, I believe, in my opinion, you'll be able to deal with the ups and downs when it comes to MS when you think positive, because as you know, this is a very unpredictable disease. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. I hope everyone else is doing well. And again, if you also, if you're not taking your Copaxone injectables and you're doing well, I'd like to hear your testimony also, because I start to wonder I know the studies show that you do, in order for the drug to be effective, you have to take it every day. But I'm just curious, am I the only one that doesn't do that? Just to see. But anyway, thanks for listening, and hope you have a great day.